Welcome back to part 2 of our word illustrations group videos. And today we're going to simply continue with a couple, 2 or 3 more buttons that you may find helpful and that will add some more visual interest to your document. Hi, I'm Terry, one of the Consumer Technology Specialists for Mid-Continent Public Library. And let's look at those new buttons. Let's quickly review what we saw in our first video when we looked at our summer update document. And on the right, we added in an image that came from Creative Commons so that we know that we won't run into any kind of copyright kind of issues. Scrolling down and looking at the left, we have a picture that I took and then saved on my computer, so it came directly from my device. On the right-hand side, we have a shape that we pulled in, we recolorized it, and then we added some glow to it. Scrolling down from there, we'll just stay on the right, and we added in 3 icons and colorized them. We resized them as we talked about a kindergartner getting ready for school. And then on the left, we had a climbing wall that we pulled in from stock images. And then when we went to, and let me click on that picture again, when we went to picture format as a contextual tab, and we looked at the different possibilities, we went to picture styles and picked that kind of softened oval as part of that climbing wall. Well, let's scroll down, because then today what we want to look at is a couple more things, and one of those is school supplies. And what we would like to do is add in a screenshot of the school supplies. Now this takes a little more effort and a little more pre-thought, and so what I've done is I have found the school supplies on a website, and what I want to do then is simply take a screenshot of those school supplies and pull them into this document. My pre-planning included having that website where the supplies are located already maximized on my laptop as well. So when I click on my taskbar and quickly move to that website that has the supply list, it's just all ready to go. And then let me go back to my document so that now I can get the screenshot. I will be sure that I'm in Insert above the ribbon, and then go to Illustrations, and on the lower right we have the Screenshot button where I can click on the drop down and then come down to Screen Clipping. And it automatically tries to find the other windows that I have maximized. And you'll notice that I have a little crosshair here. So all I need to do is click and drag over what I want to take a picture of, starting in the upper left and moving down to the lower right. And when I let up on my mouse, that school supply list has now become part of my document. I have a very nice readable list of everything that is needed for our kindergartner. Quite a lot. I don't remember ever having to need all of that stuff. Kindergarten has actually become school. Now here's a thought. As I look at this next choice, it says, let's balance our schedules. And certainly we have school, parents may have work, whether they work in or outside of the home. We have different activities, sports, for example, or maybe extra teachers of some kind. We might have, I don't know, movies that we go to or TV that we watch, or we want to leave time for gaming or whatever it is. So how do we balance all of our schedules? Well, it might be that we want to go back up to Insert, and in this Illustrations group, in the upper right, we have SmartArt. And we have all sorts of choices here. We have list possibilities. We have process possibilities, which basically means you start at one point and you end at another. Cycle, which, well, it kind of goes in a circle. I start here and eventually I end and then go right back to the beginning, that kind of a thing. We have hierarchy, so more of an organization chart kind of idea. Relationships, we have matrix, and we may choose this matrix here. We'll come back to it. Pyramid, so we have things that are more important or things that lead to other things perhaps. These are shapes that you can also put in a little picture with your text. And then of course there's office.com. Maybe we'll just go with matrix and choose something fairly simple like this shape and then click OK. So here, well, this is a little big for our document. But what we could do then is say, well, here is our balancing act, and we could at least talk about some of the things that we want to balance. So we want to balance homework with sports, with, what do we want to say here? Gaming, with family time. Let's say that. So maybe that's family game night, but family time. And then when I click off, that just becomes part of my document. And I probably need to delete a little bit to make some extra space. But again, I could resize this if I wanted to do that. I can move it. I can change the size of those shapes a little bit. I could even do some fixing of the font if I decide that that font needs to be bigger or smaller. The other thing that I might decide that I want to do is just kind of fun. Now let me show you, because there's two different ways I could do that. So let's say that we want to have some fun time. And then we decide that we want to make that, really special font. Well, what I could do is select what I've typed, and then on that Insert tab way over at the right, but just kind of related to everything we've done, we have a text group. And kind of in the middle of that group, in the middle of the, well, I guess that's a second column, we have WordArt. When I click on the drop down, I can choose all sorts of different kinds of WordArt. So let me pick this one that's in the middle, and it says Fun Time. And that's one way I can do it, by typing first and then changing the font. Or I can actually, if I decide to, go to Insert, go to WordArt. We'll pick something different, and it says your text here. So now I could put even something and type, but I've already selected that font, so it picks up on whatever I have typed. And it just makes for a little different kind of presentation as you fill in your document and add to what you want to say within your document to express yourself. And so 3 other buttons, as we look at the Insert tab and we look at the Illustrations group for SmartArt and for adding a screenshot, or as we look at the text group and add in WordArt. To learn even more, be sure to go to mymcpl.org/online learning for such great resources as Universal Class, LinkedIn Learning, Learning Express Library, and Udemy Business. We also premiere 2 new videos every Wednesday and Friday at 1 o'clock. If you miss a video premiere, you'll still be able to find it later when it's convenient for you. You can find us on Facebook at MCPL 360, and you can find us on YouTube by going to our MCPL MO channel. From there, be sure to look for our MCPL Consumer Technology Resources playlist, which contains all of our tech videos.